Talk about Rachel Reeves, her infamous inheritance tax on farmers, the only thing on their minds this Christmas. Farmers bewildered and frightened about the future because of Labour's family farm tax. This is a report by Minette Batters, who's the National Farmers Union president. She was blocked from investigating the tax and its expected effect. Nearly all the responses to this review have cited inheritance tax as the single biggest issue regarding farming viability that they face. The farming sector is bewildered and frightened of what may lie ahead. Let's speak to James Wright, who is a farmer and agri-tech entrepreneur. James, you're very welcome to the programme. What do you think of the fact that this report has been produced? It's no great surprise, but the worry, of course, continues.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the family farm tax is a personal tragedy for every farmer who has to sell the farm, but it's a national security crisis for the nation, because food security is national security. And if we have hundreds of farmers over the next couple of years who have to sell their farms, it won't be other farmers buying those farms. It's going to be corporations and charities who want to rewild them. So whilst this is a personal tragedy for our farmers, it is a national security crisis. And we need to get a grip to this. The profitability review that Minette Batters did said there is a profitability crisis in farming, and that was before a family farm tax, before 20% of a farm's value every generation was going to be lost to the taxman. So this is really something we've got to get to grips for, and there'll be many farmers hoping that Father Christmas comes down the chimney with some good news about this, but I fear, unfortunately, it won't be there.
Yeah, you're right, James, and I wonder what your own thought is on this and what your own plan is on this.
Well, I'm 33. I'm a tenant farmer, and I also own half my farm, and I've got 3 young children. So this is a bit of a way off for me to worry about, but my landlord is of an age where he is starting to think about inheritance tax planning. And frankly, the amount of rent that I'm going to pay him over the next 10 to 15 years is less than the inheritance tax liability. So any good accountant will tell him the best thing to do is to sell the farm, get rid of the tenant, you don't need him, and go and put the money somewhere else. And that is a problem as well. So
and it's a big issue about the death of British farming for all those reasons that you said. What would you say to the cynics in all of this who say, actually, if you want to hand on your farm to someone else, someone who is younger perhaps in your family, you're not in this position, James, but many others may well be, that you can do that, and actually if there is, it takes 7 years to make sure that there's no inheritance tax, but if you're 50, the likelihood is that you're not going to die in the next 7 years, usually. Therefore, you could, in theory, hand it over to your son or daughter, or sell it, or something like that. That could be a solution to this problem. Now, I don't think that farmers, and I come from a bit of a farming background, should be in that position at all. But it is a possibility, isn't it, James?
It is, absolutely. And if you are young enough, you're able to do that. But if you're a 70 or 80-year-old farmer, or maybe you have a terminal illness, if you die before the 1st of April, you'll pay no tax. If you die after the 1st of April, you will pay 20% of your farm's value. So the way that this tax is set up is that basically it penalises those who do not have 7 years to live. So if we're going to make one change at all, it would be to allow farmers to move their farms before the 1st of April for those that need to, who won't live to see that 7 years. But we don't need the tax in the first place. It's only £500 million, which is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of government spending, it is not that much. And to damage one of our nation's great industries, farming, it employs 500,000 people, it produces 60% of the food that we all eat, for £500 million seems a bit daft to me. Why are we investing lots of money into improving profitability on farms, only then to take it away through a very penalty-driven tax?
Just before you go, James, tell me about your farm and what you do on it. We can see those beautiful cows behind you having their lunch there. You've got a lovely scene, pastoral scene there, looks very peaceful. Just tell us what your farm actually does.
Yeah, so we're beef, sheep. I farm beef, sheep and children. We've got 70 cows behind me. They've just come in for the winter. And then we've got sheep outside. We're about 160 acres, so average size for the UK, but I work full-time as well, and many farmers will be working to make ends meet. So whilst farms might seem very expensive, actually the level of profitability on them is quite low. We've had a good year this year. Beef's been all right. If you're an arable farmer or a dairy farmer, you're looking at a rather bleak winter, I'm afraid.
James, excuse me, James, thank you for all of that. That's James Wright, who's a farmer and agri-tech entrepreneur, and his very happy-looking cows behind him there having the lunch there.